All right, guys, we're back at the farm shop working on the 1965 VW Beetle. Today, we're gonna work on the engine bay. These little shelves right here, there's one on each side, and they are rusted out. Got some new ones here from Autocraft Engineering from the UK. Really cool. Those guys make some really nice metal. They build them in their shop there. They have like all the metal equipment. Pretty cool. So go check them out. So let's see how this looks. You kind of see here, the original one's pretty rough. It's real thin in some places. It's got holes in it. The rack or the rail where the engine seal goes is in really bad shape. So this whole thing needs to be pulled out and everything behind it's all rusted out. So it's gonna be a chain reaction of stuff that we're gonna have to replace. It's gonna fit in there nice. It's gonna be great. All right, let's see if we can find the spot welds. It might be a little easier to find them out here. I can actually see some right now. All right, guys, check it out. It looks like this is the last one on this side. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's one right there. You can barely see it, I think. It starts getting really rusty right here. So there might have been a couple here that are just rusted out. And then you can see one here. You see it kind of starts up here, it goes down at an angle, and then it kind of curves back up here. Yep, we'll probably have to make them a little bigger, but we're just starting with this. All right, check it out. You can see all the spot welds on this side. Pretty easy. That's where we drilled through 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see one right there in that corner that we missed. See it? So we gotta grab that. And then that should be it, but we probably have to make them a little bit bigger. We'll see if it starts to pull away. Yeah. Let's get that one first. Yeah, that one was hidden. I can see it, I think, right there. Yeah. Yeah, let's get this one right here. Is that it? Yep, that's it. Look at the light coming through there. That's cool. Oh yeah, there we go. Check it out. Looks like a stage lighting. Oh yeah. All right, let's see if it'll pop loose here. Yeah. It's doing a little bit right here. Yeah, that one broke loose. Cool, it's coming loose. Let me get in there with the hammer. I mean, they're literally just some of them are just popping right off. Look how nasty that thing is. It's in pretty bad shape. All right, check it out. That came out pretty easy. Not bad at all. Now, we need to get this bumper bracket out of here. This is the new one. I ordered it from Wolfsburg West, and that's the part number. And it's made by Clocker Home. Looks like a pretty decent piece. Gotta get the old one off and put the new one on. So before we cut this one out, we want to try to make some reference points so that we can try to get the new one in the correct place, which is going to be difficult because this all needs to come out. Which, I mean, I guess we could try to use this as a reference point and try to save some of that line when we put the new one on. But it's pretty bad. I mean, this is gonna have to get cut. This is gonna have to get cut. It's pretty bad shape. All right, guys, check it out. I've been sitting here for a while trying to come up with a template that'll work. Basically, the template is this. You know, this is what the sheet of metal behind this, it's almost a perfect fit. So this is our template. Up until here, we need a little piece that comes out of here. And it's really just going to be this on top of this. Over that way. All right, guys, we got the welder set up, got plenty of light, and I think we've got this thing pretty much where we need it. It's not perfect, but it's basically a copy of this, just a little bit bigger. And also that end piece so it can slide up under there. So the trick now is to just try to find a sweet spot and weld it in, get it all welded in so that we can put this on top of it. That's the goal. And then we can go inside and put the shelf on, the new shelf that we got from Autocraft. So we've got this cleaned up on both sides. We got most of the metal here cleaned up. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit more. Don't worry about this stuff. We're gonna clean that up later. This is gonna get welded in. It's gonna be solid. It's gonna be sealed. Everything's gonna be great. Let's do it. turn the heat up a little bit. It's looking pretty good, guys. I'm gonna knock that ink off there real quick. All right, guys, that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Basically, this piece here, that's the back piece for this to rest on, to get welded to. And that's about where it's gonna go, about right there. That's looking pretty good. Not bad. So we'll put holes, we'll clean this up, get the paint off of it, knock some holes all around it, the hole punch, and get ready to weld this. Get ready to weld this on the best we can. Might have to, I don't know if we can get the hole punch through here or not. Yeah, so we might have to drill some holes here. We'll get those labels off and get the paint off, get that cleaned up. But first, let's knock down some of these welds. All right, guys, check it out. We got it cleaned up pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not perfect, but it'll do what we need it to do. There's a couple little holes here and there, but we'll get all those cleaned up. We'll put some seam sealer on it and some primer and all that stuff. It'll be fine. This here is going to go on next. A lot of guys have been asking about the welder. It's a Pro MIG 135. It's actually an old one that I got from a friend of mine. We traded out some work, and I don't know, it's probably 20 years old, but I don't think it ever got used very much. But I've been using it quite a bit the last couple of years. And I use 023 wire. I think that's what's in there right now. 025, Lincoln 025. I get it at Home Depot. I think it comes in 023, 024. There's a couple different versions, but it's, from what I understand, it's the 025 is basically the same as 023, 024. And then it jumps up to like 030 and 035. But But I use that. It works fine on everything. And the gas is 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide. And you get this tank filled up at your local welding store. They have smaller ones too. You don't have to get a big one, but that one came with this welder, which was awesome. And this is usually right around 20. That's kind of like the pressure, air pressure or something. I don't know how that works, but gas pressure, how much pressure it's sending out. And then that's how much gas you have in the tank, and I'm almost empty. So hopefully we got enough to put a couple welds in. But yeah, they don't make this one anymore. I think the new one's called 140. Look this up on Marketplace or something. You can pick them up. That's a good welder. It's a good welder. That should hold it. And then put a couple here. Yeah. I'm not sure what these holes here are for. Maybe for welding. I don't know. They're awful big though. We probably need to put some holes here. We'll have to drill them. Let me do that real quick. I think that's enough holes. That bumper bracket is gonna be on there, boy. All right. Hopefully those holes will work out. I think they will. We'll have to squeeze this with some clamps once we get it on here. We're gonna start. We'll start in this corner here, and then we'll work our way all around. I think we're about ready. Let me clean this off real quick, get the oil off of it. Gotta knock all these little burrs off. Closing that gap, that's pretty good. Let's do it, guys. I'm ready. Oh, yeah. tightening up. There it goes. Nice. Yeah, this clamp's working really good for this area. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's move these clamps around, tighten this bottom up a little bit. We'll start right here. I don't know if those big holes from the factory are for welding or not. I'll have to look into that. If you guys know, comment below. But I think overall that's pretty good. Got one more here. All right, check it out. There is the bumper bracket and the backing metal replaced. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's not perfect. And this, you know, you're gonna see this seam here just because I lap welded it. I didn't butt weld this because this area is not gonna be seen. Nice and strong, solid. I think we did pretty good. There it is. If you guys know about these holes from the factory, if those should be welded or not. So this is solid. Happy with that. We're gonna clean this up and fill this in and put a couple patches here and put seam sealer and all that stuff. Ospo and primer and all that good stuff. We're gonna do the other side as well. But before we do that, we're gonna come in here and put this shelf on. This should actually be pretty easy. All right, let's see if we got enough holes now. So we got the holes that are on that side of the metal, on both ends, and then we needed to fill in the middle. All right, I think we achieved that goal. Yep. Cool. That'll work. Now we need to clean up this metal here, hit it with the disc, get the rust off of it, get it ready to weld. All right, guys, we're getting there. It's looking pretty good. Bumper bracket is on. It's not perfect, but it'll work, I'm pretty sure. So we gotta get this inside cleaned up, knock all that rust off and stuff, and get it ready for welding. And we got the new bracket here, the new tray. Got a couple holes punched where we need them. And where there are no holes punched, we're gonna use the holes that we drilled out. So that's the idea anyway. We're gonna get this cleaned up because there's a protective coating on here. So we need to clean all that off wherever we're gonna weld. Let's get this cleaned up and get it in there. All right, let's wipe this down with a little acetone because I'm pretty sure there's a protective coating on here to keep it from rusting. Just knock that off real quick and spray some little weld through primer on there. A little bit here and there. Got that sticker, the barcode sticker off of there too. There's a bunch of gunk on there. Get that off. That should work. All right, guys, we got it fitted in here. I'm just kind of playing around with a couple different scenarios, trying to figure out the best spot to fit it. But I do have some reference points that these holes that we drilled originally are really good reference points of where to put the new one. That's what I'm using to line up the new one. There's also a couple other reference points on these other panels that I'm using. So, I mean, that's the best thing to do is before you take anything out is just look at it for a while and figure out how you're gonna be able to put it back in the same spot, what kind of marks you can leave or holes or whatever. But usually there's something you can reference. Right now I'm just trying to find that sweet spot. I'm using the other one, the original one over here, kind of using that as a reference point as well and seeing how they had that one hooked up. So it's always good if there's two things to look at. The original one, it always helps. But I've got these magnets here and they're kind of helping me, giving me an extra hand here. And I think what I'm gonna do is use these two magnets and find the sweet spot. Which is about right there. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more, and then we're gonna put the first weld in. Let's do it. All right, it's looking good. Got those spot welds down there. It's looking good. Got a few more in here to tack in and we'll be done. But that's it right there. That's the fitment. Let's get those other ones tacked in and call it a day. All right, guys, check it out. For the most part, the welds came up pretty good. We got a couple different scenarios going on here. We've got holes that we've punched. We've got holes that we've drilled. And yeah, so you can see the ones where we drilled the spot welds out of the original one and then welded it from the other side. They look great. Ideally, that's how you'd want to do it, because they look really nice from this side, right? And this side, you're actually going to see a little bit. You know, when you open up the engine lid, you're not going to see much, but you know, if you're going for a factory restoration look, that you want to try to achieve that look right there the best you could. But at the end of the day, this is all going to get grind down and epoxy primer and another coat of primer, and the engine's going to be in here. You're not going to see it, but it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I know it's not perfect, but for me, for this project, it's all right. It's all right. We're gonna clean it up. You know, we're gonna knock some of those welds down a little bit, clean it up a little bit. We'll probably end up putting a little seam sealer in all these crevices, all up through here. Seam sealer, seam sealer, seam sealer, so no moisture gets up through that seat pedestal. This is gonna get covered. This area right here, I'm not sure what they did right here from the factory, but I think that's where the wiring harness comes through. And I would assume you'd want to try to block that so moisture doesn't get up in there. But I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. If you guys know about this hole here, you know, same on this side. I think there was some insulation stuffed up in there. I'm not sure. But see this seam right here? All this right here? All those seams are going to get seam sealed so that hopefully moisture doesn't get through here, or even exhaust fumes or gasoline fumes. So all this stuff gets seamed. This will get closed up. Not sure about this thing. Maybe there's something that goes there to cover that. I'm not sure. But that's the goal, to try to get this sealed as good as possible, so moisture's not getting through here from the outside into the engine bay. And also, once the engine's in here and the seals are in here, and this thing is sealed up properly, it helps keep the engine cool with the way that the air flows through. So, definitely needed to be replaced. We're gonna do this side as well. Bumper bracket needed to be replaced. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna get this cleaned up and put some paint on it. And we gotta do that for the whole car. Basically the whole underneath the car. We're gonna be doing a lot of that in the next week or so. It's just getting all this cleaned up, sanded down. We're gonna put some filler here. We'll put a little rust converter here, clean this up, put some filler there, sand it down. And that's gonna get painted with some epoxy primer, like a white or off-white epoxy primer. All of this is underneath here. We're gonna keep the inside patina, we're gonna keep the outside patina, but everything that's been replaced will get a fresh coat of epoxy primer. That whole luggage tray is gonna get epoxy primer underneath as well. The heater channels and all of the lower panels that we've replaced, this area, so that it's protected for future use. This is not going to be a daily driver. It's going to stay in my garage, so it's going to be dry 99.9% of the time. But when we do take it for a drive, if it happens to rain, hopefully we will have it protected and sealed the best we can. I'm pretty excited about it. This is a very good learning project for me. Learned a lot. That feels really good to get that done. Feels really good. All right, guys. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the likes and subscribing and everything. It's really cool. Really cool to have you guys along for the ride. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the videos. I'll see you on the next one. Later. It's all right.